You are watching the number one podcast in the YouTube wrestling community. I'm one of your hosts, and my name is Juan.
And I'm your other host, the one, the only, Jean-Paul Leck.
And together we are
Rope Break.
Go Break. Good evening, every single one of you. How's everybody doing tonight? 20 minutes after Monday Night Raw went off the air, we're here. And see, Jean-Paul says it's like, we're inmates. We're sharing the same prison.
Yep.
We're being locked down, like we said in our review yesterday from TNA 2009. He said, come help me. He's like, I'm tired of this, reviewing this crap by myself. So I'm like, okay, I'll step in.
Yeah, I think this might actually be your Raw debut.
In this new format, yeah, in USA at 8 o'clock, the 3 hours, I think it might be, with a new logo and everything. It is my Raw, Monday Night Raw debut, yeah. So I feel a little nervous because my first time. So please,
don't worry. I'll carry you through the match. Don't worry.
Yeah, please. You need to carry me. This is my first time, doing this.
Opening segment. Seth Rollins.
Hip toss. Yes. Arm drag. Yes. Yep. So we hope that all of you enjoy this Monday Night Raw, like we said. We hope that all of you are having a decent time being in prison also. Hope you guys have enough food and everything. But like always, thank you so very much for watching the videos. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the button, the bell for the notifications. Let's go right through it, Jean-Paul. Monday Night Raw. I think a little bit better from the past 2 weeks, I will say. A little bit. You could see a little bit more effort.
Yeah, I would say this is definitely better than last week, the 316 episode with Stone Cold. To me, if you're going to bring Stone Cold on the show, at least have him, when you bring legends back, at least have them do something with storyline. Have them interject in some way. You brought Austin back and what he read, those cue cards for what, 316 day means. Byron Saxton, cringy, coming down to the ring. Nobody cared about that. Nobody who has a brain in their head was like, this is good television. So, to me, that whole episode was a waste. I mean, the contract signing with The Undertaker was okay in the sense that, we saw, AJ Styles cut a good promo. But like I said, Undertaker comes down to the ring. He's throwing around the table, immediately.
And they go commercial break.
Yeah, and it was just, weird. So this show was definitely better, I felt. And also the one thing I noticed that there was no King on commentary. So I don't know if because of the virus and everything, maybe because he's older, he did have some health issues. They say the people who are have pre-existing health conditions really shouldn't be out. So maybe it was something with that. But I did notice that he wasn't on commentary.
Yeah,
but to me,
maybe a weaker immune system, so that's why they taking care of him.
But to me, it didn't take away from the show. I mean, occasionally, a broken clock is right twice a day. Sometimes the King will say a funny joke here and there, but I really didn't miss him on commentary.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So let's go right through it, Jean-Paul. The show started with the same video package that they had last week with Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre going at it, the same kind of thing. And then they went right straight for the PC Performance Center another time. They're having the shows over there because pretty much they don't have anywhere else to tape the shows. So that's when we saw Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. They're right there in the ring. And then Heyman says, it's time to be honest for a change. We live in uncertain times, but they're giving us some certainty in the form of Brock Lesnar. You see, Drew McIntyre can train his ass off, spar with mixed martial arts, and do just about anything that he wants, but he cannot beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. So indication right there. Heyman also says that Drew can get on his hands, on his knees, but God's prayer line is really busy. And it's probably really busy nowadays because everybody's just praying. And be the next time he prays about WrestleMania, it will be Lesnar who answers and makes it quick and painless.
He said, quick but not painless.
Yes, there you go. Yes. And then he says, after McIntyre has done it, then Brock will make it quick, but it won't make it painless. There it is. So Heyman says that McIntyre is a made man because of Brock Lesnar, but after WrestleMania, he'll be just another bitch that he got beat by the best of all time. The reigning, defending, undisputed WWE champion. Then, now, and forever, Brock Lesnar. Hopefully, Paul, I did some justice to you. Uh, you need this kind of promos, maybe not. I don't feel that you need this kind of stuff. We've heard
Yeah,
this for
I mean,
years already.
yeah,
So
that's what I mean. Like, the whole shtick that he always does with Brock Lesnar. Like, some people they love it, they mark out for it. Me, I'm a little indifferent. I do like the line where he said about the pray. He's like, you can get on your hands and knees and pray, but God's pray line is full right now. I did like that line because it's a little bit, it's pretty heel. It's like, yeah, there's so many people who are praying because of this disease. Like, you're not going to get through. Like, he's not going to answer your bullshit pray to win against Brock Lesnar. So I do like that line, but everything else was just kind of generic.
it is,
The
yeah.
typical Paul Heyman promo. I do like how he spoke really like quiet, monotone. The volume never really went above like a 4 or a 5 because he's like, why does he need to yell? There's nobody in the arena. He can just talk.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, I agree with you. And like you said, like probably it's hard to like kind of come up with ways to keep pumping this rivalry,
Mm-hmm.
especially because like see like are you gonna have interactions between the two of them? No, because there's nobody there.
Yeah, and
So
let me
what would
just
you
say,
need? What would you need to do that?
and let me just say this. A bunch of people they say, "Oh, I don't want McIntyre to win in an empty arena. That's not fair to him." You know what? What's happening in the world right now isn't fair to anybody.
That's
So
right.
I'm
Shoot,
not
John Paul.
I'm
Shoot.
I'm not gonna cry that McIntyre wins a title in front of nobody because, like you said, how much can they drag? Could you imagine if they have to drag if Lesnar wins at Mania and they're like, okay, we're praying that SummerSlam is legit and everything's good, back to normal, or at least close to normal, and we can have a pay-per-view, in front of a crowd, and then McIntyre will win it at SummerSlam. Well, what if it's not the case? What do you like? How can you drag this feud out that
More,
long?
yes, yes.
Especially if Lesnar wins clean, then it's done. If
Yeah,
Lesnar hits an F5 and it's done, what's McIntyre gonna say?
yes, it
You know,
is.
like what can he argue to be like? No, I deserve another shot. There is none. I mean, WWE could book a fatal 4-way and he wins it and he's right back in the hunt because WWE books like bullshit. But to me, he's just got to win it. Like, hey, it sucks, but you know what? He can have a great title defense in front of a crowd.
Yes.
Let him have a
Let him
six,
just
seven
win
month
it.
title.
You know,
Yeah.
and the circumstance, everybody understands what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so and then nobody. Some people might be bitter. Some people might be like, oh, the crowd was needed. Well, you know what? So be it. It's bad.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
bad.
that's what I
Fuck it
mean.
up.
Yeah, yeah,
It's too bad for you. Who cares? Like we need to just kind of like skip that idea that like crowds and everything because like it's gonna take a long time to like you said
yeah,
be back to normal. So
yeah,
we gotta
and,
work with what you're given.
yeah, and not to go too off topic, but to go into that, SummerSlam. There's rumors that I know Canada's not sending anybody to the Summer Olympics in Japan.
Yes.
Japan is still getting ready in hopes that they're going to go on, but the
Well,
Summer
no,
Olympics
no,
might not even
no.
happen.
Roberg always gives you like updates. No, the Olympics got postponed.
Oh,
2020.
they
Yeah,
they
2020.
got postponed.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. In Reading, PA, baby. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, no. But like, yeah, postponed completely 2020.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay. That and then yeah, you heard more recent than I did. Okay, so there we go. Like you said, Rope Break tells it first.
that's what we do, baby. That's what we do. Not only wrestling, we do it everywhere. So, Mr. Leek, like you said, like it's we don't know. Like the whole world is gonna have to adjust. So
Mm.
moving along with that, we go to like AJ Styles. He got a great promo. I will say, this rivalry, at least because of AJ Styles, has been kind of legit. I will say not as extremely legit, but at least with AJ Styles being the one, the heel, cutting these phenomenal promos.
Mm.
Like I'm starting to enjoy this a lot more.
Yeah,
So
he had a little bit of humor in it, and to me, some of the humor, like I did laugh at the one thing he said, but some of the humor, to me, the humor is not needed. I hope that there's no more of that after tonight. I know we really don't have that much. It's a week from Sunday, so we only have one more Raw,
yes,
to go. So I hope next week, if they do build on this a little more, I hope there's no more humor. But I did laugh at that, like when he said about wearing Depends,
oh yeah.
and then he's like, no, no, no. He's like, no, like the pants. He's like, he might be wearing Depends underneath the pants, but
Yeah, well, it's like, but so yeah, I'm gonna take you through the whole thing, but like I said, like I feel that like that also is making the Undertaker go back to like we're gonna talk about this a little more, but like there's a lot of indications. All the signs are pointing out that like we might see the American Badass.
Mm-hmm.
just because of like how he's been calling the Undertaker by his name, Mark. He's been calling Michelle McCool. He's been revealing more of the personal side of the Undertaker, not kind of going like with the Deadman gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, he comes out to the stage with Gallows and Anderson. Then AJ Styles states that like the tagline that WrestleMania is just too big for one night. I hate that. They kept saying that like throughout the whole freaking show, and it's absolutely cringy. Oh, too big, so it's gonna be held in 2 days. Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
You know that you're doing this because like it got all messed up. Why can
Yeah.
you just acknowledge that?
Oh, and also, I don't know if speaking of that, because like we said about pre-tape, this just popped in my head. I heard rumors that they're filming alternate endings to different matches.
Yeah, yeah,
So they're filming like one F5 and done. They're filming Claymore kick and done.
yes.
So it's like
So you have two celebrations.
yeah.
So
So
pretty
it's
much.
like what is like? I guess they're gonna decide the day of. They're gonna flip a coin and see. I'm like, are you
Oh
kidding
no,
me?
or like it's gonna be to the point that like it's like if you want to see Lesnar win, you gotta check the DVD. They're gonna put it in there. If you
Yeah,
want McIntyre win, here's the alternative
yeah.
and yeah, there's a lot of rumors when it comes to John Cena and Bray Wyatt, the Fiend. The match is gonna actually not be in the Performance Center. It's gonna be in a warehouse. They're just gonna film a lot of like kind of like making like a movie, and John Cena
Uh,
is really involved with that. Like there's a lot of his input, a lot of his creativity is supposed to be used on that. So going back to AJ Styles, he stays again. WrestleMania is too big for one night, so they're gonna have it in two. So it's official that he and the Undertaker will go 1-on-1. Styles says that he doesn't care which night they have their match, but he's sure Taker does not. That Taker does because Michelle McCool might have a preference. Then Styles makes fun of the Undertaker clothing, saying that he wore maternity pants and he looked like a gothic version of the dog, the bounty hunter. Then Styles says the Undertaker posted a video of himself swimming with a tiger, and then he showed the whole video that has been like he's a campaign, he's trying to save the tigers and everything. He has the eye of the tiger, a little bit of Rocky reference right there, along with Michelle McCool. We see like the whole clip, like she said, and Styles says that he doesn't know who this man is ever since he lost to Brock Lesnar and the streak ended. He's never been the same man, and he wanted to take the Undertaker's soul, but his wife already took that. So the Undertaker says he says the Undertaker lost his mystique, and then he got replaced by the old man taking selfies on Instagram. And Styles says he doesn't want Mark Calloway, he wants the Undertaker, but he's nowhere to be found. However, he can give us what he wants. He can bring the dead man back in a match he will love. He challenged him into a boneyard match, and when it's over, he's got the perfect plot to bury him. And ironically, is the same plot his wife picked out when she buried his career. Legit, I would say
that's what
legit.
I mean. Yeah, like after he was making the jokes and after the Tiger video, he turned the knob from like a 3 to a 10. He was like, all right, it's shoot mode. I mean, and it's hard to not agree with him. What has the Undertaker done? Like the Bray Wyatt feud could have been so much better. All that
Shane
and
O'Mac,
yeah, Shane O'Mac, like okay, like
done.
bullshit. Who cares? You lose to Roman. You have that awful match against Goldberg, and like there's just all this stuff that he's done since then. And it's like like honestly, who cares? Last year they should have did him and Shawn Michaels.
That's what they wanted. It seemed, but like I don't know what happened. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
like I don't
Maybe
think
it was Sean
Shawn
saying I
wanted.
don't want to do this
I
anymore.
don't think Sean wanted to do it, which I mean, I'm not going to say that's bullshit. I mean, it's bullshit in the sense that like they kind of started it and then didn't go through with it. But I respect Sean's decision. But then in that same breath, it's like, why won't you wrestle The Undertaker in a legit match at Mania if you're going to wrestle the Brothers of Destruction versus DX in Saudi Arabia, which was bullshit.
Oh yeah, like that. See, that's
So,
what like there was a lot of plans for that. They said that like it was supposed to be Shawn and Undertaker at Survivor Series, or
mm-hmm.
like and then drag the feud all the way till Mania. But maybe Shawn didn't want to do it anymore. And I will tell you, like, see the Undertaker after Brock Lesnar, yeah, his career has kind of go up and down, more down than up. The one thing I will tell you, like when he kind of like got his character back completely, when he came back to face Brock Lesnar in SummerSlam 2015, when they
Mm-hmm.
had that like kind of like you will say like the rematch from WrestleMania, and then he beat him, and then he kind of like fade like tap out, and the referee didn't see that. They dragged that whole thing all the way to like Hell in a Cell. That was really cool. But after that, the Undertaker, like his matches is like he pretty much uses the name. It's the
Mm-hmm.
name value. It's like, oh, it's the Undertaker, and that's what WWE uses. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we want to see Mark Calloway or like we want to see the evolution. We want
Yeah,
to see the
and
rematch.
he had that legit match. Who I think it was McIntyre, and was it McIntyre and Shayna Mac against Roman and
Oh yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Undertaker?
That was in the Extreme Rules. Yes,
Yeah,
that was
that
that's
match
good.
was pretty good because
It
the
was,
Undertaker was in a tag, so he could stay fresh. He
and
did.
all, and also why did they do that? Because he wanted to make up for the Goldberg thing. That
Mm,
was why. That was the main reason why he wanted to do that. He probably said, you know what, you guys need to put me in a match because I don't want people to remember me for the Goldberg thing. But hopefully we can see that like this Boneyard match. Even the announcers Tom Phillips and Barrett Saxton, they were like, we don't know what that means. So we're gonna see what's going on with that. And like I said, there's a lot of indication of the American Badass. And now
mm.
for me, it will be fine because a lot of people hate the American Badass, but I've been a fan ever since they came out because that's what the Undertaker really
Rolling,
is.
rolling, rolling, rolling.
Yeah, go that, go Kid Rock, go Big Evil. You're going down. Any of them, I don't mind. Give me American Badass. That way, hey, the Undertaker, Lord of Darkness, all of that. Yeah, we've seen that a lot. Hey, let the guy kind of flip flop. Let him like come out as whatever he wants. Right? So Charlie Caruso, Mr. Egg, he interviews Selena Vega because we have the also like it was announced that like Andrade and Angel Garza are now they're a tag. All of a sudden they're a tag, and now they're going to be the challenging for the Raw Tag Team Championships. They're going to be challenging the Street Profits. So we get like that. That is announced for Mania. So Charlie's interviewing Selena Vega, and then Angel Garza and Andrade backstage, and it says it's clear she has a crush on Garza, and it was that was my most favorite thing in the whole show, the interaction between Charlie and Garza. Because it's Charlie, she's like blushing, she's like all like nervous, and Garza just comes out like, "Hey, mommy, what's up?"
The only thing that I say about that is bullshit. Is like they forget that on NXT he proposed to his fiance. So it's
Yeah,
like, what the fuck? Like, is she done?
yeah, like that. I mean,
Like, I don't care that he
those
kisses.
gaps.
I
Yeah,
don't care that
yes.
he kisses old ladies in the crowd. Like, to me, that's like whatever. Or like when he used to do that. But I'm like, really? Like, you gotta have him flirt with like Charlie Caruso? Like, what the fuck is his fiance saying? Like, come on.
Oh yeah, like so that was kind of like a like bull, and and also like kind of like Selena was insulting Charlie and all of that, but then Andrade says, oh, like, oh, they like to smoke, but we won the titles.
Mm.
So kind of like, okay, crappy promo, but we know these guys are legit. Do we understand the reasoning for them to be an attack? No. I
No,
was
the only
hoping for the
let,
ladder match, but
yeah,
no, WWE.
let me book here a little bit. This is the only way you can save this thing is the Street Profits retain because Angel Garza and Andrade, their egos get too big, and then after this, you have them two feud for the United States title.
Hopefully,
That needs to
hopefully.
like there needs to be dissension in the match. Maybe like Andrade's doing good, and then Garza tags himself in, and then Garza starts getting his ass beat, and then maybe something happens, and then like one of them they don't go to make the tag, or like Andrade just walks out. Something could happen where they're like they turn on one another, and then the Street Profits get the win, and then after that you had them feud. That's the only way you can save it, and that would be the only justification for even making this match.
Oh yeah, yeah. So like it doesn't really like we always say like they do this just
Because
to put everybody in
yeah,
the car, but
because to
does it
me,
make sense? No.
I would rather now Andrade and Angel Garza are more deserving, but to me, I would have did the Street Profits versus AOP.
Yeah,
AOP should
well,
have said you stole the titles from Murphy and Rollins, our boys. Now we're coming for you.
the one thing is like the one I think is Akam, or it might be. I'm not completely sure. I think it might be Akam. I don't think it's Razor, but like he's injured. He got injured like to like the last row that they had people.
Oh shit.
Yeah, well, he's really injury prone. He's really injury prone. So he got injured, so he's gonna be sidelined for like at least a month and a half. So if I'm the other member of the AOP, I'm gonna be pissed. It's like, dude, like every single time that we're gonna go for something, you get injured, and then because of you, I'm done.
Yeah,
Put me in a singles role.
I'd be like, give me the singles role, man. Like,
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do this. So
mm,
they have this match, and they is Andrade and Garza going against Ricochet, a brand new look for Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. Match was legit. The ending a little crappy.
mm,
Like they gave me like a whole like 10 minutes legit stuff, but in the end it was crappy. The Street Profits came out. They were also on commentary,
yeah,
kind of like selling the match for
to
WrestleMania.
me that took me out of the match. Them on commentary because they were just like, going crazy and hollering and like it's almost like I said, like it's almost like they were watching TNA Lockdown with us. Like we said, that's what you do. Like when you're like, you're watching a fun pay-per-view, you're laughing, you're drinking, you're eating pizza, you're having a good time. Like, to me, that's what, like, the Street Profits, they were just screaming and hollering and going crazy. And it's like, can I watch this match?
And it's like, and that's the thing, like you're saying, and we're not comparing, but see, AEW didn't bring, they only brought Jericho. They didn't bring anybody else in, like, to do commentary. And if they do, they talk about the match. You don't need to be like, ooh, 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 ooh.
But like I said, I mean, I would rather listen to the Street Profits call 3 hours of Monday Night Raw than listen to the Private Party go,
Oh, that's even worse. That it's not even Serena Williams, playing a match. It's not like that. Like, yeah, completely different story. So, moments of the match, the highlights, like always, Andrade and Garza make use of a quick tags and hit Alexander with some double team moves. Then Ricochet tosses Andrade back to the ring and looks to jump on him, but Andrade sweeps his feet. Then Garza drops Alexander with a knee for a near fall. Then Garza hits a standing moonsault for another fall and then tags Andrade. They look to hit a double suplex, but Ricochet saves Cedric, pulls Garza from the ring, and then he hits a twisting tope to the outside. Alexander catches Andrade with a slam for a near fall. Then Alexander slams some of the forearms into Andrade, but gets caught with a gnarly spinning back elbow. Either the referee screwed up with the pinfall or Alexander forgot to kick out, but that was the finish of the match. It was botched, and that's. I know you're always attentive when it comes to these things. You're always like pretty like detail oriented when it comes to these things. It's like Judah's effect and done.
Mm-hmm.
Judah's effect and done.
I feel like, like, to me, it was, it was whatever. Like you said, it could have been a botch. Maybe they didn't know. It like, normally, like, a lot of times, maybe Cedric, he might not speak Spanish. Andrade, like we said, his English, no offense, is pretty bullshit. So, if it might have been the ref didn't communicate, to him, like, what the ending was, and he, like, maybe he didn't know, you know what I mean? But it's like, in the end, who cares? And no offense to Cedric, but I'm happy he got the pin, or ate the pin versus Ricochet, because I still have hope for Ricochet on the main roster. But to me, Cedric is done ever since the ACH thing. When he was like, oh yeah, Cedric, like, you're my boy, like, I'm gonna get you out of WWE as well. WWE, they had their eyes, they were like the eye of Sauron. They were just looking around, and then as soon as he said that, they focused right in on Cedric, and they're like, you're done. You're done. Like, if you're associated with this clown, you're done. And exactly. it's a shame for Cedric, because he's one of the most talented guys on, that WWE has employed. I love Cedric Alexander, but,
absolutely.
But they're not going to do anything with him.
It sucks to be Cedric because he's legit. He's such a great wrestler, and a big swole. It might be like, honey, come with me. Like, we can be a tag here. Like, it will be better for you because, of course, here clearly you're an afterthought. Yeah. You just went into oblivion for no reason. And like you said, maybe like the thing with like ACH and all of that. But like at least Ricochet, we all have hope for him because he's such a like good wrestler. But again, I don't know what they don't see. I don't know what.
Yeah, I mean, to me, he's an awful promo. I'm gonna be honest. Ricochet's not good. He comes out there, she's like a super baby face. But what he says, he sounds unsure of what he's saying. He's like, for 17 years, I wanted to be WWE champion. And he goes on, and it's like, did you? Because it sounds like that's something like a writer told you to say. Like, you don't even sound like you believe in that.
Like, did you want it to be like
passion. Yeah, there's no passion.
Did you want it to be a champion or no?
Yeah.
Maybe. But I know, maybe. So that's what happened, and then you see a few interactions with the Street Profits going against Andrade and Garza, because right after this, then the Street Profits got a match against Shane Thorn and Brendan Bink. Shane Thorn and Jean Paul, you will hear this, and you were gonna like this. Shane Thorn is a member of also the Florida Championship with a really good friend, Cha-Cha Charlie. So shout out to him because like he was legit. That's one of the guys. That's one of the guys from the CCW. So they probably got him. To just be enhancement talent. But hey, he's a try with the WWE. That's important. Yeah. You never know. You never know. So shout out to Cha-Cha Charlie. They air an episode with him, a great interview on BCTV for Family in Reading, Pennsylvania. So thank you so very much for everybody that watched. And this match, Paul, very quick. moves a little bit of offense from the Thorn and bank, but then of course the Street Profits got to do the whole shtick, and then of course the frog splash. I love how much height he gets.
Oh, Montez Ford is so legit. Like, I mean,
Montez Ford is legit.
Angelo Dawkins is legit too, but Ford, like I said, I love when he does the warrior freaking shaking the ropes. Like, that is so legit. And his frog splash, man, like, nobody did it better than Eddie Guerrero, but I mean, his frog splash is legit, though.
It's pretty good. Like the Montez Ford, like we see out of the two, that's the future right there.
Mm-hmm.
Singles guy, you won't see him like what as the United States going against Andrade. That will
Mm-hmm.
be Garza. Even put this in singles feuds, you have money right there.
Mm-hmm.
So we get a video package of the 24/7 championship. Do we care? No. I Ray
No,
Ray
I did pop at the one line he said, though, because this was pretty much the same video that they had on social media. I think it was yesterday or the day before.
Yes.
With R-Truth, and he had Riddick Moss. He was just like jogging or something down the street. R-Truth
Yes.
pulls up in his car. I don't even know what he does. Like, I mean, you probably have it in the notes there. But he ends up like pinning him, and he's like stomping Riddick Moss on the ground, and he's like, "Go back to football, Randy Moss."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Randy Moss was like a wide
Yeah.
receiver for a
Yeah.
bunch of different teams: Vikings, Raiders, and the Viking Raiders, the Vikings,
Yes.
the Raiders, and the Patriots. But he called because R-Truth always messes people's names up, so I
Yeah.
thought that was funny when he called him Randy Moss. But like we said, but do we care though? If you could present this title in such a legit way, like I said, somebody should win it. They should be the 24/7 champion, and they could get challenged to a championship match at any time, anywhere. It doesn't have to be on a pay-per-view. It can be on a Raw. Like, it could be whenever. Like, you get challenged and you have to accept it. It shouldn't be where, like, you can get attacked at any time. You should be able, like, to get challenged at any time, and then you set the match. But,
It
like, the
should
way
be
that...
more in the ring though. It should be,
Yeah, that's
in
what I
the
mean. Yeah,
ring.
it should be like if R-Truth pulled up to him when he was jogging, and he's like, hey, like, I challenge you to a match on Raw. Riddick Moss has to accept. Like, that's what it's the 24/7. Like,
Yes.
he has to accept it. So he's like, okay.
They twisted that idea from the
Yeah.
hardcore championship of the
Yep.
WWE,
Yeah,
WWF
who was that?
attitude there.
Was that Hardcore Holly, or who was
Crash.
that? Crash
Crash.
Holly.
Crash, yeah.
Okay.
Well, like hardcore was there too, but like
Yeah.
Crash was like the guy that like pretty much won. Like I think he was 10, 15 times hardcore champ. But see, like they made it also legit because like he will do anything to avoid. He didn't defend like Archer in the end. He will lose it in a stupid way, or Riddick Moss that they will do it in a stupid way. He will avoid them. He'll actually like will keep running and stuff like that. But now, before we go on, there were two matches that they gave for free because, of course, they don't have enough. I will say, I don't know, creativity, or maybe they just needed, there were gaps that they had to fill. They gave us John Cena, Seth Rollins, and Brock Lesnar triple threat for the World Heavyweight Championship in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 2015 Royal Rumble, and they gave us Charlotte against Asuka. We're now at WrestleMania 34. But we're not going to talk about either of those because everybody knows what happened there, and we're still upset that Asuka lost the streak.
Yeah, that still breaks my heart, and we don't, like you said, we're not going to go through them. But I was surprised. I know it's the Philly crowd, but they were so behind Brock Lesnar in that match.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I would be booing the hell out of Brock Lesnar. I'd be, anytime Cena got any offense, boo. I'd be like, no, I wanted Cena to win.
Well, but like you can tell, like everybody wanted Brock. I don't mean that's the Rumble that Roman Reigns ended up winning, and so yeah, very different story. So now we go to Jean-Paul. Charlie Caruso is in the ring, and the whole ring is darkened, and then she has Shayna Baszler with, and like Charlie kind of struggles to get the words. He's like so, and then she's like, well, she starts kind of doing the interview, and then she says that Baszler might be the most intimidating woman in the WWE. And then asks how she plans on conducting herself as champion. So Baszler doesn't respond. Kind of like really awkward moment here. I didn't really like this too much. Charlie says Shayna allows her actions to speak for herself, but could she possibly answer? So Baszler just kind of like, she's staring at Charlie, and you can see Charlie kind of acting up. And she goes, Charlie, like you look nervous. Then she jokes that she might just bite Caruso. And he's like, I might bite you. And she's like, like kind of awkward. And then all of a sudden, like we hear like boom, like, and then she gets hit. And then Becky Lynch shows up, and then she attacks really like she's like attacking Shayna Baszler. And then she uses a chair, hits a few chair shots right there, and that was pretty much the end of the segment. Did you enjoy this?
I mean,
not really. Didn't do much for me.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It didn't do much for me either. Like you said, the beginning of the interview was just awkward, and I don't ever remember Shayna having an awkward promo interview sit down like this on NXT. So I'm not going to blame Shayna for it. I'm going to blame the main roster machine that pumps out this garbage each and every week. But like they keep going off this bike gimmick. To me, whoever wrote that needs to be just fired and not be allowed in the pro wrestling business ever again. Like, only, like, okay, yeah, she bit her, whatever, but the fact that that's what they dwell on, like, constantly, like, what is she going to do, bite Becky in the WrestleMania match? Or they'll probably do some bullshit where Becky bites her.
Yeah, and then that's
And
even
then,
worse. That's even
yeah, and
worse.
it's like, that's what I mean. So it's like, I don't know what, like you said, I agree with you. It really didn't do much for me. My excitement for the match was as soon as, they said Shayna was getting called up, you knew she was going to go after Becky. That's where my excitement peaked. And it hasn't changed. It hasn't gone up. It went down a little bit, but not too much. It's still kind
Yes.
of like
Yeah.
I'm excited for it because I think if you give these two women time, they'll put on a legit match. But I was disappointed with that triple threat match that was at who was that? Oh, she wasn't in that triple threat. Who was in the triple threat Survivor Series? Was it Shayna?
Oh, it was Shayna.
It
Yeah.
was, yeah,
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 we talk
yeah,
of it, Jean Paul. You gotta refresh your memory. It was Shayna, it was
yeah.
Becky, and
We
it was
watched.
Bailey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's what I thought, but then I was second guessing myself because I see so much bullshit, in wrestling all the time. But so yeah, that wasn't a good showing for her really. So I don't know. I am a little leery, how this match is going to be. Like because, like I said, that women's triple threat, I thought it was going to be a lot better than what it was. And I don't want to blame Bailey, but maybe it was Bailey's fault. Maybe those women will function better just one on one, but we'll see.
And we'll see. We'll see what happens. But like, is it getting me hyping up? Do I want to like see this so desperately, so bad? No.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
we move on to Alistair Black, and he's fighting another enhancement talent, Leon Ruff. We get
A jobber.
another jobber. There you go, another jobber. We get confirmation, another match announced. We get two in this segment. We get Alistair Black is going to be fighting the almighty Bobby Lashley that we saw he just debuted on TNA yesterday
Yeah,
in Pro Break and
yeah,
TNA Lockdown. So
yeah.
11 years after that, he's going to be fighting Alistair Black. No reasoning behind it. See, that's the one thing. There's no reasoning. Logic gap is like, okay, these guys probably make, especially Lashley, he probably makes cash. Okay, he makes really good money, and that's why he has to be featured in the match. So that's what they do.
But you
And
see,
Alistair Black,
like
yeah, go ahead.
now, tell me if you can think of anything. I cannot have I fantasy booked, Garza and Andrade kind of turning on each other, and then that sets up a feud for the United States Championship. I cannot think of anything to come out of this match. Like I don't know, like what you do.
And you know
Like
why you can't think of it, and you know
because there
why
is
you're not
nothing.
able to, because there's nothing. Yeah, there's
I'm
just two
like,
guys that is like, oh, we have Jack, Jack S for
yeah,
you guys to do.
because
Maybe we put them together. Yeah,
as soon as I saw this match was announced, I was like, well, both of them. I was like, I immediately thought, okay, well, you could do that with the U.S. Championship. I'm like, but what do you do with this match? Like, what is this a one-off? Who is going to be like, in 20 years from now, what are you going to say to like your kid or whatever? Like, you got to check out the classic match from WrestleMania 36.
oh yeah,
Aleister
no,
Black and no,
no, no. You're gonna say it. Well, when you this is the time when I went to the bathroom, or when I grabbed more beer, or when I got another slice of pizza. That's what you
yeah,
said. So really quick, Leon Ruff was trying to kind of get on Alistair, and he's like, "Oh, why are you not doing anything?" Because Alistair's just sitting there, and then Alistair was like, kind of got upset. Black mass and done.
done.
So yeah, and we like I said, and then we get another confirmation from Mister. I cannot make matches, but I can lobby for one. We're gonna get Elias and Baron
Yeah,
Corbin,
Rob Gronkowski.
like the
Mhm.
guy that like has like a share from $28 on the WWE shop that nobody understands why. And he should actually, when if somebody actually has the nerve to buy that shirt, they should donate that for all the victims of the pandemic, to doctors, to everybody that needs that. That's what he will say, you know what? I'm a good person and I want to just give to the people. So
Yeah, I don't
that's
know why WWE doesn't do that. They should sell a shirt that 90% of the proceeds go to hospitals and victims and stuff. I don't know why they can't sell a shirt that's like WWE strong or like we stand together or something like. You know,
Yeah,
like some kind of
I wasn't there.
inspirational shirt.
I
Yeah, but
wasn't.
instead we get that bullshit WrestleMania shirt. We get the Gronkowski shirt, which I said uses the exact same font as like Zack Ryder Broski.
Yeah, there you go.
Really?
Like, in creativity, right? So now we go to probably the best part of the show, and not even for it was Kevin Owens because we know Kevin Owens is going to go against Seth Rollins 1-on-1 at WrestleMania. And this time it wasn't Kevin Owens the one that delivered the best promo here. It was actually the Monday Night Messiah, Seth freaking Rollins. But
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Owens is in the ring, and then he's addressing Seth Rollins, and he says that he was here last week, but Seth was nowhere to be found. He knows that Seth is here tonight, so he is all ears. So Rollins answers the call, he comes out, and then he says he's walking to the ring very slowly, and then he says he can't understand how Owens thinks the PC gives him a home advantage. He says he might not have trained here, where Owens did, and made friends. He's like, Kevin, you even got your job in here. So he says that like this building didn't exist when he was training. So the performance center was built on his blood, sweat, and tears. His first day, he walked into the rundown warehouse and told his entire life work was meaningless. So then he had to suffer and start from the beginning all over again. He had to persevere and succeed so the likes of Owens could train somewhere like the PC. He then rebuilt the system and pretty much he says, hey, the names like Chiampa, there's Garganos, NXT, Undisputed Era, the Women's Revolution, everything is because of Seth Rollins. He says, neither one of those things will exist if it wasn't for me. And more importantly, there's no Kevin Owens without Seth Rollins. He said Owens he tries to interrupt, but asks if he can finish, and Owens agrees. So then says every time that you always had a match at WrestleMania, you never do anything with it. And he's like, Riz, remember last year? Oh yeah, Kevin, you weren't even featured on the show. He's like, your track record like is spotlight. He's like, look at my tracking record. Look at my Mania record. I won the IC Championship. I beat Triple H. I cashed in Money in the Bank, and I beat Brock Lesnar last year for the Universal Championship. Whereas you like pretty much done.
Yeah, he was like, oh, what, Shane McMahon?
Yeah, Shane McMahon, and then that's it. And then he says, well, Kevin, you can even beat me on my worst day. And then
I think the last
line I really like.
Yeah, that's I mean, yeah, I love. And then I think he said something about like when he beats him, he'll become a god, or like he'll become a god or something. Yeah, like
he says,
extremely legit.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say extremely legit promo. Seth Rollins as a face, man, he cuts a 2 out of 10 promo. As a heel, 9 out of 10 promo. Easy pro. Like he's so much better as a heel. And I feel like it's because he's channeling some of his anger from when he was a face. Like, if we're going to go into, like, a shoot mode here, he's like, he probably felt disrespected. He probably felt like, why are they shitting on me? Like, you know, if they're such smart marks, they should know that this isn't my doing. It's WWE. Like, why do you hate me? You should hate the writers and all this other stuff. So now he's a heel, so now he can say a little more what he wants. And he's like, you know what? He can't take your anger out on the fans. One, because they're not there, and two, that's not how WWE works. So it's like, I'll take it out on Kevin Owens, and everything he said was true. The last legit match I could think Kevin Owens had was against Jericho, I believe.
Yeah, and you know,
and
for the Kevin Owens,
was what, Mania 33, I think.
33.
Yeah.
33. Jean Paul and I we watched. Remember that? Yeah. Mm-hmm. When remember that even that was featured on the 365 show for WWE with Kevin Owens, and he comes to Gorilla, and he's happy. He's like, "Oh, did you like that?" And Vince goes, "No, get the hell out of here." No. Vince gives him the cold shoulder. He's like, "That was the worst match." Even Jericho says in an interview with Inside Ropes, he says like Vince hated like how the match came about, and he's like the build-up was legit, but like the whole match he hated it. He's like,
I don't know why. I think that's when he hated Kevin Owens because they're like. And I think that was around the time weren't they making fat jokes about Kevin Owens too?
Yes. So like
bullshit.
Bullshit. He's never Kevin Owens. He's never. That was his. I will say his only like legit like kind of like Mania program.
Yeah. With the festival of friendship and all that was so legit.
Yeah, and that was And then next, last year he did 34. He wasn't even in the show.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't even in the show, and then 35, and they nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
The 1 year it was the Daniel Bryan comeback.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon and all of that, and Sami Zayn. Like, okay, that was kind of like good too.
Yeah,
And then
but
also,
he was completely overshadowed by Daniel Bryan. And
yes,
you knew they weren't gonna win. What's Kevin Owens gonna pop a power bomb on Daniel Bryan for the 1, 2, 3? No way.
exactly. So and then 32, it was like the ladder match that they have for the IC Championship that Zack Ryder ended up winning. So like you see, like at least when, and of course last year's 35, he wasn't even on the show and he was clear to compete.
Hmm.
You know, because I remember like he actually had a match on the pay per view before Mania. He had a, and I'm like, why are you wasting him now when you could use him like on Mania? But like Seth Rollins is saying, like yeah, broski, yeah, Pete Dunne, yeah, like yeah, what's there
Like
to
why?
say? Yeah, why? And but like, see the promo that he cut, it was really really good. I will say that
Oh, I agree.
it was pretty good, and I really like the line is like, well, like I'm gonna become God, and it's like, and the one line I really really love is like, you cannot beat me on my worst day.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
that's
because just the intense look on his face. He's staring right into the camera, and I wanted to get your opinion on this because I was thinking this as I was watching it. I felt like this promo was better because there was no crowd.
yeah,
There
oh
was
yeah,
no cheers, there was no boos, there was no you suck, there was no what, there was no BS from the crowd. It was all
no,
just his promo against Kevin Owens, and we could hear
and
it
it's
clear as
because
day, and yeah.
it's easy for you to say the whole dialogue. It's
Hmm.
because it's you're having a conversation. It's like you and me. Let's say you and me are talking. Like if there's noise around it, it's not gonna come across like as if you and me just talking just by ourselves. So that's what I feel that like you said, it added a lot more to the promo. Really legit, really legit.
Hmm.
So now we go to the main part of the show. Pretty much Randy Orton answering Edge, and we got again a whole video package what Edge had to say. Challenges Randy Orton for a last man standing match. Orton went like a big promo, kind of like 5 minutes, like he was saying that. Well, when I came here, you think that everything was handed to me, but I don't think that's the case. I earned it. He's like, I became an IC champion. I became the youngest world heavyweight champion. He's like, do you think that like, okay? He goes, if that would have been the case, I should have ended right there. But it's like, no, I became one of the best. It's like you say that like Mick Foley gave us the torch. He's like, no, I came and when you left, Mick Foley put me through the tax, and then I
Hmm.
beat him, and then I spit on him, and I took the torch from him, and then I turned all of this into like the three most deadly letters in sports entertainment. RKO. He says, I'm gonna do this because I love your family more than you, like Ruby and Lyric and all of that, and then he says, I accept. So pretty much Randy Orton went on like a huge thing with Edge. I will say Edge, out of the two promos, Edge was a lot better. But see,
Oh
Orton,
yeah.
Orton gave me, like the substance. He gave me enough for me to believe that these two are going to
Yeah.
go to war
and
in a
and I
last
think
man
I
stand.
think it's I think it's because Randy Orton, he's like, to me he's almost like a psychopath or like a sociopath. Like he's not gonna come out there and cut this angry, fiery promo. Like he will, and he did that against Beth Phoenix. But then against Edge, he's almost trying to be like, I'm the good guy. I'm helping you, Edge.
Yes,
Like, you know
yes,
what I mean? So he's like crazy. I won't even use the term conflicted because he's not like, he was conflicted in the beginning, but now like he like snapped, like he went literally insane with this, like whether it's jealousy, whatever, whatever it could be with Edge. So he's like, that's why he's coming out there and speaking calm. Like that's why you see a lot of like crazy like villains and stuff in movies. They don't really yell sometimes. Sometimes they speak real calm, and it's like
and you
that's
know why, Jean
yeah.
Paul? You know why? Because like I love the idea that you just said, because it's like if you have that kind of sickness, when you
Mhm.
have like that kind of pathology, I will say, you are convinced that what you're doing is the right thing to do.
Yeah,
And
that's
when
why
you're
he's not
convinced
out
out
there.
of
Yeah.
something, you don't need to yell. You don't need to
Mhm.
come across like like completely like irritated, nervous.
Yeah.
You just you to
Mhm.
talk very
But
slowly and
yeah,
peacefully because you know that like you're in the right.
exactly. But with Edge, he's coming out there yelling, screaming, fired up because Randy was attacking, his wife and everything. So that's, justified. But that's why I like with Randy Orton, but that's why I feel like maybe his promos don't stick like Edge's do. But, this match to me, I know we're going to get into WrestleMania previews and predictions and stuff coming up in the, next week or sometime soon, but I would almost I don't know how they're booking this thing. I would say night one main event is Lesnar and
Drew McIntyre.
Lesnar and Drew McIntyre, and the night, because Vince is going to want night 2 to be Roman, but I would do Roman and Goldberg as the second last match, and then I would do this to close the show.
I will do definitely because
I
to me,
I
Edge
know it's
coming
not a
back is more meaningful.
and I know it's not a championship match, but to me, this match has the most build out of all these WrestleMania matches.
Yes, absolutely.
Or at least it has the most dedicated build. We saw each and every week from the Rumble, this match had build and build and build. I mean, the Kevin Owens Seth Rollins feud was a lot longer, but it was filled with a lot more crap. Where this feud was just everything was legit each and every week.
Yeah, and for example, I agree with you absolutely 100% because at least we got to see progression. The only thing I will say too, I didn't see Christian. And that was kind of and probably we won't see Christian because now with the travel issues and all of that, that kind of is conflicting, but completely understandable.
This is the only thing I will say on that though, is I'm almost happy I know when I did the reviews, I was like, oh, Christian, that'd be cool if they brought him out. To me, I would just like to see Christian. If he's going to make an appearance, it should be at Mania when Edge wins. There should be Christian with Beth, whatever, and they celebrate with him.
That should be good.
Because if you, let's say you would have put Christian in Matt Hardy's role. What, you want to see Christian get his ass beat, get, concertos on the steel steps? No. That's what I mean. If Christian comes back, I want to see him be legit and, kick somebody's ass or at least celebrate with Edge. I don't want to see him come back and get his ass beat. So that's why I was happy, after it was all said and done, I was happy we didn't see him. Or, I don't want to see him get RKO'd or, whatever, so...
No, because it will bring me memories from SummerSlam 2011 and then done or 2 days he was the World Heavyweight Champion. He loses the championship and everybody at that time, because it was taped, they thought it was 4 days and it was actually 2. He wins the championship on Sunday and he loses it on Tuesday because they used to tape on Tuesday. So this concludes the whole review. I think it was a little bit of a better show than the last 2 weeks. Not come nearly as close as what AEW is doing with the live no crowd shows.
And like I said on the previous Raw reviews, when Raw, when the crowd was still going on before, everything that's going on right now, the shows weren't bad. The shows were good. This show, was the best of the no crowd shows, I would say.
It is. I will say out of them, hopefully, I don't know, we know WWE's taping Mania. They're taping tomorrow. I think they're taping a lot of Raw and SmackDown for next week. They're taping a lot of NXT stuff also. They're going to kind of do matches. I know that. There's a lot of reports that they're actually taping matches because they don't want the same exact result that happened last week with the video packages show. So we're going to see a lot of situations happening, but everything you guys will be informed. So thank you so very much for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Nice Raw. And thank you, Jean Paul, for having me. I'm gonna kind of if you don't mind, I'll join you for a few more Raws. For the time being that we're in prison. So thank you again, guys. Please don't forget again, subscribe. Please hit the bell for all the notifications. And Jean Paul, where they can find us on the social media world.
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Obviously, that's where you're watching this beautiful review. Twitter, we got all that stuff coming for you. And on the channel, we have tons of content. Like Juan said, when you're locked up, what can you do besides make videos for the family? So we have soccer, we have some WrestleMania gameplay, Undertaker and AJ Styles. And if you watch that video, which I know you have, it's the American Badass. People are starting to say, like Juan said earlier, that it could be the American Badass. So who predicted it first?
We did.
Great.
Rob, yeah.
So we're
not Bret Hart, Greg. Yes.
So we're gonna have lots of good stuff. And speaking of the Bret Hart, check out that video where we review the Broken Skull Sessions Bret Hart episode. And we have I unboxed Doom Eternal Collector's Edition.
Legit.
I unboxed that.
Watch that
so
too.
Check that out. And like I said, tomorrow we're gonna have some soccer stuff, and we might also have a little pro wrestling crate tomorrow.
That's right.
We do it all for the family. So that this month's theme is lucha, and you guys know I'm a mark for the luchas for the mask. So this crate will be real good for Jean Paul.
And we already saw him with wearing the whole mask. Really great video. Please watch the Doom. I didn't know a lot until this guy unboxed it, and now I'm interested. I want to play the game. It's going to be a great time. So all of you, please stay healthy, Thank you so very much to the new, the from the now, the then, and then forever
Yeah.
subscribers. So thank you so very much for all of that. So in the name of Jean Paul and myself, we want to say one more time, gracias, and also we want to say,
Uh,